Welcome back. It has been a while since we did a video, but since we are in the middle of breeding season, I figured now is a good time to go over what the herd looks like. We did narrow the herd down quite a bit over the summer. We are down to 13 goats total, and there are a few new faces in here. So we'll start off with our buck. Since there is just one, we narrowed it down to one singular buck to make things easy. I decided to keep Major. He is our silver Nigerian dwarf buck, and he has the potential to inherit his Star B, so he also has really good lines behind him in addition to being a really pretty silver. Major is a 2-year-old buck, and since we are currently breeding, he is in with the girls right now. He did have a buck apron on, so he could be in with the girls over the summer, since we didn't have a buddy for him to stay in the other pasture. And the buck apron worked really well, aside from one accident that we will get to in a minute. But yeah, he's a 2-year-old. He is a silver. Now, genetically, he is technically a black goat, so our kids are probably going to end up being black and white, or at least carrying black, since that's all that he can throw. But he has that silver modifier on top, so we can always get silvers as well. For the does, we will start with the oldest. So this here is Georgia. She is a 5-year-old doe. She has a really nice pedigree behind her. She is extremely dairy. She also has pretty blue eyes, so she has a little flash. Underneath all this white, it looks like she is a Chamois because she has the black legs, the black stripe, and I believe her belly is also black. However, both her parents are gold. With her being paired with Major, I'm pretty sure the kids have a chance of being a Chamois or being silver. I don't think she carries black because both her parents are gold, but I'm like 99% sure that the options for her babies with Major are just Chamois or silvers. And then they could get the blue eyes on top, right? And she has been bred. She's actually been bred multiple times because he loves her, even when she's not in heat. So finding out a due date for her is going to be difficult. He's been glued to her side on 4 different occasions so far, and she stands for him every time. So good luck to me trying to figure out when she's actually going to be due. The next oldest doe is going to be Birdie. Birdie is a 4-year-old. She is our mini Nubian doe, and she is very obviously a black goat. She does have moon spots all over as well, but she is essentially just a black goat. And since he is also a black goat, their kids are probably going to come out either black or silver. And they could have the bonus of having moon spots, which on a silver, they tend to fade out and you don't see them at all once the goat is older. We have a doe named Roulette, who is a kid that I held back from this spring, and she is a moon spotted silver. Both her parents had moon spots. Her sire was a silver and her dam was black and white. When she came out, she had darker silver spots all over her that within a few weeks had pretty much faded into her coat. So she is a moon spotted silver. Because silver is so light, the spots kind of just blend right in. Anyway, with Birdie, I'm going to be really excited to see what she throws. Either way, they're going to be adorable. So she was actually the first to go into heat. I did not see him successfully breed her, but he was glued to her for 2 days, so the odds are good that he got her, and we're just waiting to see if she comes back into heat on this next cycle. The next oldest girl is going to be Poppy. She is 3 years old. Again, really, really nice pedigree behind her, and she has the bonus flash of having blue eyes and moon spots. Her dam was a buckskin and her sire was gold. Obviously she didn't get any of the gold. So her and Major paired up. I think the chances are that we can get buckskin or we can get silver. And then they can have the chance for blue eyes and moon spots, which will be fun. After Poppy, we'll head over here to Atari. Now she's the one where we had a little bit of an accident with him getting out of his apron, and she happened to be in heat. He bred her way earlier than we wanted. She is currently due January 9th, I believe. That is 145 days for her. So she'll start off our kidding season. Miss Atari is a silver buckskin. Her dam was black and white, and her sire is a silver buckskin. Very clearly, she takes after her sire. She carries black from her dam. So I think being paired with Major, odds are good we could get a black kid, we can get a buckskin, and they could also be silver. Atari is a 2-year-old. And we might as well just go to Rin since she is right here. Rin is a 2-year-old. Obviously, she is black and white. She has blue eyes and she has moon spots. So her paired to Major is essentially pairing up 2 black goats. So that's pretty much all that they can throw. We're gonna get black and white kids out of this pairing, but they could get the silver modifier, so they may come out silver, and then they can also get moon spots or have blue eyes. So either way, there's still some fun things that can happen. Rin is one that has been bred. I did see him successfully breed her as well, but she is the one we've had trouble keeping settled. So over the past year, I've switched up her minerals a bunch to try and get her to stay settled. So hopefully this year it'll work and she won't come back into heat. Next up, we have Beretta. She's another 2-year-old. She is basically solid black. She has a little bit of white at the tip of her tail, and she has one tiny little moon spot that shows up on her back. But otherwise, she is basically solid black. Being paired up to Major, again, this is basically 2 black goats, so the only thing that they can throw is black, but we could get the silver modifier on top, so their kids could come out black, silver, and maybe have a moon spot or 2. Then we have Beretta's littermate sister. I think they were out of a set of triplets, if I remember correctly. But this is Aerith. Again, she is a 2-year-old. And unlike Beretta, who just got a solid color, Aerith came out Swiss marked like their sire. So being paired to Major, I think we can get Swiss marked kids, we could get solid black kids, or we could get silver. She does not have any moon spots that I've seen, no blue eyes, so not a whole lot of flash. We just get the really, really cute Swiss marks. Yes. Next up, we have Sky. I forgot to mention that Beretta and Aerith and Miss Sky here all have really, really good pedigrees as well. They're some of our higher quality does. So the kids from these pairings are going to be fantastic regardless of color. But yeah, Miss Sky is another 2-year-old. She is a chocolate buckskin. Chocolate and silver both modify black. No moon spots, no blue eyes, not polled, so not a whole lot of flash there. But I believe these 2 paired up, we could get buckskin from her. Most of the goats in her pedigree are chocolate. Both of her parents are chocolate. So I think there's good odds we could get a chocolate out of this pairing, but silver is also an option. Sky is also one that has been bred. And speaking of chocolates, we have Dixie. She is another chocolate buckskin. She is also another 2-year-old, but she has the extra flash of having blue eyes and moon spots. So Dixie has been bred. She was one of the earlier girls. I think she was the 3rd one to get bred. Pretty much the same color options as Major and Sky, but we have the added traits of blue eyes and moon spots. So we could get buckskin or we could get chocolate. And then you can possibly throw on blue eyes and moon spots on top of that. She's one that doesn't have the most amazing pedigree behind her, but her dam did have a very nice udder. And Dixie is super sweet and easy to handle, so she got to stay, even though I was kind of making cuts based off of pedigree. So I'm really excited to see her babies as well, just because of all the options that we have. And then over here, we have Iceland. She is another mini Nubian. She is just about 10 months old, and she is a blue roan, which is genetically different than a silver. You can kind of see the differences between her and Major. So Major here is one uniform color all the way down to his legs. It all kind of just blends in evenly. And then if you look at Iceland, she has solid black legs, and her coat has a mix of these white hairs in with the gray. So she is a little bit darker. So a roan is different than a silver. So I'm not quite sure if the roan is something that goes on top of a pattern like a silver. If I had to guess if she has a pattern, I would say she's probably a Chamazé. But both of her parents are also blue roans. So I think there's a pretty good chance that she'll throw blue roan kids, potentially silver. If she ends up having a solid black kid, then we'll know that she carries the black gene. But otherwise, I think she'll probably just throw a blue roan kid. And she also is blue-eyed, so there's a little bit of flash there. And she has been bred. So we're basically just waiting on 2 of these girls. We need Aerith to come into heat, and we need Poppy to come into heat. Once those 2 have been bred, Then we just are waiting to see if anyone else comes back into heat. The girls that were bred most recently, like Sky and Beretta, they were bred like 2 days ago. So it's still gonna be another few weeks before we actually know if they've settled or not. Birdie, I think, is supposed to come back into heat around Thanksgiving if she hasn't settled. We'll find out with her pretty soon. But that is basically our breeding lineup. I'll make another video about who's due when as soon as we figure out if they have settled. As of now, we're kind of just waiting to see. And I will show you the last 2 goats. They are currently in a separate pen. And one quick announcement, we do have a website where we sell our goat milk soap and lotions. We also have some lip balms on there. And we are currently running a big holiday sale. There are some soap bars that are currently marked down, and you can also get an extra 40% off on top of that with the discount code HOLIDAY. You can use that now through December 4th. Every bar of soap sold buys the goats an extra bale of hay. Every 2 bars of soap sold buys the goats another bag of feed. So you can stock up on some holiday gifts, and you can help give the goats some extra snacks. So if you're interested, head on over to bleatsandbubbles.com and use the code HOLIDAY at checkout for your 40% off. In this pen are our 2 last does. These 2 are not quite up to weight to get bred yet, so they are in this separate pen. Plus, Roulette here managed to injure her leg a little while ago, and she is still recovering from that. So her leg was wrapped up for a few weeks, and now she is just working on getting the muscle back into it. She is still getting used to using it again. She has been starting to step down on it more and more every day. So hopefully she'll build that muscle back up pretty quick and she can stop hobbling around. Anyway, these 2 are in here because they are not up to weight yet. They need about 10 more pounds on them. So we're keeping them separate from the buck over here. This is River. She also has a really nice pedigree behind her. So once she is big enough to get paired up with Major, they can throw buckskin kids. I believe she's a buckskin carrying black, so a solid black kid is also an option. And then we would have Silver as a possibility. Plus Moonspots because she is moonspotted. She is almost 8 months old. And then Miss Roulette, she is Foxy's doeling that we held back from the spring. So Foxy's black and white, and her sire was a silver and white. She came out silver and white. But again, she used to have a big old moonspot right about here that has since faded and blended in with her coat. But she is a silver, and she is polled, and she has moonspot. So once she is big enough to be paired to Major, their kids have the chance of being solid black or silver, and then they can be polled or moonspotted on top of that. She is also 8 months old. If I remember correctly, I think these 2 are only like a week apart in age. I think they're also about a pound apart in weight. She's a little chunkier. But yeah, we'll see how these 2 do getting up to weight. If they're up to weight by, let's say, February, then they may get bred, depending on how her leg is doing. Otherwise, we'll just hold off until fall to get them bred when they are plenty big enough. But that's pretty much all I have for this video. It was just a quick update on the herd and what we've been up to. So I'll see you in the next one.